Hi, we're at MPE Merchant Payments Ecosystem in Berlin. Another great day drawing to an end. Fantastic show. Now I'm with Tom Voaden, VP of Commercial at Bridge.
Hey, great to be here.
Thanks, Tom. Pleasure. We've got a few quick questions for you to go through,
Sure.
and we're looking forward to hearing what your take is. So we're going to talk a bit about payments orchestration here. We know it's a pretty hot topic at the moment, but we also know there's a lot of companies talking about orchestration. What's your take on it?
Yeah, so I think Bridge's take on payment orchestration is really to be that kind of pure play independent software layer that works on a global scale for enterprise merchants across multiple verticals, and also actually in a white label capability for FIs and PSPs as well. I think really, the problem we're solving is solving that kind of complexity in the payments landscape. So that's everything from managing multiple integrations to launching new stuff to just keeping up with the kind of mandates and regulatory changes that are happening. And ultimately what we're doing is we're taking that technology burden from our customers, be that merchants or kind of FI customers, and really just allowing them to manage their kind of commercial operational side, where we really take over that technology bit and drive all of that benefit that brings.
So what's driving the demand for orchestration, and where are you seeing the most interest coming from?
So I think on the merchant side, what's driving it is a few things. I think, people, the consumers, are demanding more and more in terms of their experience. Not only do they want to be able to pay in more ways, in more parts of the world, for that to be personalized to them, but also they want it to be quick, easy. They want it to happen without failure, and most importantly, they want it to be secure as well. So I think that's really driving pressure on the merchants, which, in turn, the merchants are saying, okay, how do we tackle that? We just can't manage that technology ourselves. And that's where they'll turn to orchestration to be that independent point of doing it that doesn't tie them in with any one specific acquirer or gateway or whatever it might be. And then I think the flip side of that is, we've got a ecosystem where there's a ton of acquirers and gateways who are just struggling to keep up with the times, struggling to keep up with even some of that merchant demand. And actually what they're doing is saying, okay, orchestration can also be a tool for me to keep up with the times, offer that new technology out to my merchants in a way that, again, they don't have to put massive resource and massive development in, but ultimately they can continue to service those merchants, retain and attract new merchants in a way that works for them.
Okay, so you've mentioned technology there, and in some instances, I guess, a burden of technology on companies that are unable to manage that.
Yeah.
So where do you see orchestration going in terms of that technology and indeed the ecosystem that it's supporting?
Yeah, so I've spoken a lot about kind of taking that technology burden on. I think the next level of orchestration is what we're already doing, is then how do we start to optimize that use of technology? So, it's one level to be an aggregator. There's a lot of good aggregators in the world, but to actually be a true orchestrator, what you're doing is you're taking that technology and you're saying, okay, let's use these different transaction paths in the right way to drive the highest authorization rate, to drive the highest conversion, to make sure we have the lowest fraud rate. And, start to tackle very specific markets or specific customer types, and really kind of drive it to that next level then, which is really just all about optimization. And the key to that is data. So I think, orchestration is getting to a point now where it's becoming more and more commonplace with bigger and bigger merchants and bigger white label customers. That's certainly what we're seeing. And that data allows you to then take that optimization to the next level, because the more and more data you have, the more and more patterns and challenges you can identify.
Okay, so lots going on in the industry, lots going on in orchestration. What's next for Bridge?
I think the kind of next 6 months for us are really about activating a number of fantastic tier one customers that we've signed over the last few years. And that's, off the back of some announcements we've made recently of some that we've already put live. So I think that's really important. I think delivery and orchestration is actually the most important thing. You're trying to do a lot of things for a lot of customers, therefore nailing that is most important. But I think beyond that, as I was alluding to before, our use of data, analytics, how we're utilizing that data, and able to use it for the good of our customers and partners is something that we're taking a lot of time to focus on. And then I think there's some really cool stuff we're doing from a product perspective as well. We're working with a number of partners on some really cool new product initiatives. And then the kind of thing on the horizon as well as the geo expansion side. How do we start to broaden out into new markets and make sure that we can tackle problems that they're facing that might be very market specific really well? So we're kind of gearing up to that as well.
Brilliant. Tom Voaden from Bridge, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.